Sinners, directed by Ryan Coogler. What the fuck was that? Okay. Sinners tells the story of two twin brothers who are criminals returning home to set up a club. The night they open up, an Irish immigrant comes and wants to celebrate, and they are extremely xenophobic. And they tell him, no, go back to Ireland. Very problematic. Ryan Coogler made those Black Panther movies about a country that won't let anyone in. Now he's doing Sinners that says, hey, go back to Europe. This feels like an attack on my good friend Manny Muskets, who's from foggy London town. Turns out that Irish guy is a vampire. So he decides to make all their friends vampires. They take over the bar. They want to kill everyone. And it's a band of survivors trying to fight off vampires throughout the night. It sounds like From Dusk Till Dawn, but like not really. There's other than two brothers and a bar, the whole setup is a little bit different. They actually hint to the vampire change, whereas From Dusk Till Dawn does it very abruptly. And I will have more to say about From Dusk Till Dawn on Monday for Cinco de Mayo. But yeah, I had a really good time with this, and it has made me forgiven Ryan Coogler for producing this piece of shit and directing this travesty. I'm like, oh wow, he did a good movie again. I knew he was good, but after this glorified HBO Max commercial and this, I don't even know why they made this. Like, we lost Black Panther. Let's do Tiny Woman Black Panther. That's a terrible idea. We finally get a great movie again. I have some issues with it, but for the most part, I really, really liked it. Adam, would you say that Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan continue their perfect track record with Sinners? And do you think it is a film that effortlessly blends multiple genres into one cohesive story? And does it have a similar pacing From Dusk Till Dawn with a richer narrative, Adam?
I feel like you're telling me everything I'm going to say, Tony. That's weird. It's crazy how that works. It's like,
what do you mean? I'm just coming up with these off the top of my head,
it's
Adam.
Like we're brothers. Tony, I think that this is a fantastic movie, and Coogler has not missed with Michael B. Jordan. They did the Creed films together, the first two, and then they did Black Panther, obviously, and thankfully Killmonger was not in Wakanda Forever because that movie was absolute trash.
No, he was. He had a cameo. He was not part of the main story, though.
That's cap. We're going to keep going, though. Sinners was a delight. I do think the similarity on Dusk Till Dawn is that the pacing is kind of the same. You have 2/3 of this film that really aren't vampiresque. Yes, there is a scene or two mixed in, but for the most part, you're really backloaded with the vampire action. I like this one a lot more than From Dusk Till Dawn. I'm probably in the minority on that, but I do not care for the first 2/3 of From Dusk Till Dawn at all. I think that the last stuff is freaking awesome, though. Sinners is kind of the opposite. The end of the movie was the cherry, but the sundae was already present. I really like the whole mobster angle with these two brothers, Smokestack, and how they came back to their community. And, this is in Mississippi. This is during
Prohibition.
Prohibition and redlining and all that stuff. Well, this is pre-redlining, I suppose. But regardless, it's not a good time for Black people in the South. And these guys have made a lot of money ripping off pretty much everybody in the cities. And so they're back here and they're going to open up. I can't remember what they call it. It's not like a bar per se. They have a term for it. A juke joint. Thank you. Yeah. And this is where you get some of those other genres where they're blending horror, they're blending the mafia stuff, they're blending like this crazy musical set piece where you have a one take camera shot that's moving around, or at least they're making it seem like it's a one take.
Can I talk about the musical scene? So
please.
So the scene starts and I'm like, okay, they're gonna sing a song. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I come back.
You left during it?
I come back. And suddenly there's like people in costumes and I'm like, they're having a lot of fun here. And then there's like a guy in a leather jacket with an electric guitar. And I went, what the fuck is happening? And then the roof is burning down. I'm like, wait, I don't know what's going on. And then I realized, this is like an artsy sort of the music throughout the culture. But man, if you really miss the setup to that because you're pissing in the bathroom and walk into it, I caught on pretty quick, but it was very jarring. I was like, what? This party got a little wild.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I think that was more jarring than the actual vampires because,
Yeah.
and to kind of to your point, I think that is maybe the one thing I would not necessarily criticize, but want more of was some of this musical inspiration more throughout the film.
Yeah,
because it's really just at that part, and then I mean, whatever. The guy's playing music throughout it, but that kind of craziness. And then it's at the end credit scene where I think half of my audience left and did not get to see the brilliant ending that really tied it up in a bow. If you haven't seen Sinners, there is an end credit scene that's maybe a minute after the credits start to roll.
Yeah.
It's enough time though for people to get up and leave and not realize it's going to happen.
Well, maybe they had just seen, not spoiling anything, but maybe they had just seen Minecraft and they were like, end credit sequences are pointless.
Yes, right.
Logan,
we're only here for the memes. But Sinners was great. I'm actually gonna have one of the actors.
I was gonna say,
not one of the big ones, but Chris is the character in Sinners. He's the guy that's like locked outside of the bar because they think he was bit.
Oh my god, I felt so bad for that.
Yeah. He's gonna be on my live tomorrow night. He's actually awesome. Cousins with my buddy Bless, who I met out here, and Bless is like, Adam, my cousin wants to come on your show. Get a hold of him. So he's gonna come on. We're gonna talk about the movie and just some of the other stuff he's done and produced. That'll be fun.
All right, everyone, subscribe to Adam for that video, and then unsubscribe when it comes out. Logan,
of course, yes.
What did you think of Sinners?
I thought it was great. I thought it was fantastic. And this is one of those things where, like, when people talk up a movie so much, it kind of like, it makes me start to worry because it puts a lot of weight on people to like, okay, now I'm going to go in it with like a microscope. It's like, is this actually freaking good or not? I did the same thing with Black Panther. And I was like, because when Black Panther came out, I couldn't get a freaking ticket to see the damn movie for like 3 weeks. And then I finally was able to see it. And it was fantastic. This movie's awesome. It's got like almost like a Quentin Tarantino script vibe, like how people speak the screenplay and stuff like that. Like I thought that was really fun. It is very funny at times. I love the vampires in it. The vampires are fan-freaking-tastic. I mean, Michael B. Jordan, he's always been good since he was in The Wire. So he's fantastic in this.
He was fantastic in Fantastic Four. I think we all agree on that.
He was. He was the only good thing about that.
He was Fan-Four-Stick.
Fan-Four-Stick, everybody's favorite.
But no, man, the movie's great. The violence was great. The character development was awesome. I don't really have a bad thing to say about the movie. And the funny thing is, it's 2 hours long. But it didn't feel like it was 2 hours. It felt like it was an hour and 30 minutes. I was like, where did the extra 30 minutes come from? Because you're so engaged in the story. And that scene that you were talking about, I thought that was so cool. How we travel through time. You have this gift and you see that. I'm like, that's freaking cool. Like, I like that. Like that kind of shit. Like it made me think of like the scene in The Northman, where you see like his lineages or whatever, and you see the twins are growing, like that little where
that again.
It just takes you out of the movie a little bit for something like magical. I like little things like that, but then it brings you back to the movie. I like when we take a little trip outside of the realm of the movie and then come back to the movie. It was awesome. It was a great movie.
And can we also talk about how jovial the vampires were? Like, what a great group of people. I kind of wanted to go hang out with them.
Yeah. I mean, so it, by the way, it does teach a good lesson. If an Irish person wants to hang out with you, say no, get out, or you'll be surrounded by...
Take your potatoes and get a hike.
You'll be surrounded by disgusting redheads. Crystal, what did you think of Sinners?
Oh, wow.
So...
You love this. You were texting me about this.
So, once again... I went on AMC and I was like, all right, I have to see some movie called Sinners. Looking it up. Okay, great.
You missed all the hype for this?
I did.
Oh, wow.
I don't know where I was because I walk in right as the movie started. I realized I was the only white person in there and I saw some people in a field picking cotton. And I was like, oh, shit. Did I walk into the right movie? Like, what is happening? I sit down and I'm like, all right, guys. All right, let's see what's happening. And... had no idea it was a vampire movie or anything. So I'm fully engaged going through this journey, which was really, really cool. And I'm actually happy I had no idea what this was about because that entire experience, honestly, I don't even have that many words to explain it because it was so cool. It
Yeah.
was so cool not knowing anything about this movie, going in blind, and it was just phenomenal.
Did you see it
the-
in did you see it in IMAX?
Yeah.
Yeah. I made a
I-
point to see it in IMAX, and that really helped.
Yeah.
Oh
it
yeah,
was-
seeing that spit strand from Haley Steinfeld go into Michael B. Jordan's mouth in that big beautiful screen. Oh god, that
yeah.
was so nice. Yeah.
Well, I thought what was really cool is the aspect also changes.
Yeah.
During the music. And I was like, I didn't realize it was happening. And I was like, holy shit, this is cool. Love the music aspect. There is music throughout this entire movie, and you don't.
It's important to the story and everything.
It's
too.
so important, and you don't realize there's a little bit of music here, and you're like, okay, they're singing on the side of the road and stuff like that, and then he's also playing. You don't realize it until that big musical scene where it kind of takes you to a whole nother level, and you realize how important music is to everyone. I loved that scene so much because I obviously huge music lover. It's literally my career is in music, and especially the blues. The blues, I think, I love that we are talking about the blues and it is incorporated into this film. The entire way on the way home, I was listening to Buddy Guy, who I love in that last scene.
Yeah.
He's so I see he popped up on the screen. I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, holy shit, this is really fucking cool. And I was just like listening to Buddy Guy with a little mix of Stevie Ray Vaughan on the way home. And I was like, oh my God, I was like living. This movie is so good. And then also with the horror aspect, the visuals were awesome. There's the Irish music in it was fine. The dancing, the actual prosthetics and the special effects. I actually, if I was there, I probably would have picked to go with the vampires because I was like, wait, I get to know everything that everyone just felt and have this bliss. It's like, they really sold it, and I was like, why is no one wanting to do this? Because they were saying, hey, we also want to go to that KKK group over there and tell them that they're fucked up, murder all of them, and bring them in, and all be happy. And I'm like, this is going to solve world peace, making everyone vampires. So why are we not doing
demonic
this?
vampires?
Yes.
They had soul. They could play.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could. They were dancers.
Yeah, the vampires have a hive mind, which is really cool.
That is cool.
Much like From Dusk Till Dawn, there's no like, oh no, what's happening to me? Once you're a vampire, you're like, I am full vampire. I want to kill, and I'm on board with all my homies that I met 5 seconds ago. So that was cool that they have this hive mind, but they also share all their memories. And he's very old, so he has a lot of memories, and the memories of people that he's been killing for like hundreds and hundreds of years, if not thousands.
Yeah, and they play the rules too, which is cool. The rules of the vampire, they cannot come in unless they're welcome. I was really, really happy when I saw that. The voodoo magic I love because I love voodoo magic. I think it's so it's cool to learn and know about it because it is so ingrained in being ancestors and
as like a voodoo sort of witch doctor person in the beginning. So it's not weird when she suddenly knows everything in the end. By the way, this actress who I'm gonna butcher her name if I try to say it. She was in the horror movie His House, which is on Netflix. That was one of the best horror movies I've seen in years. I highly recommend His House. She was also in Loki. I guess she was one of the time traveling people that.
Maybe that's what I know her from. I couldn't place her. I knew she looked familiar though.
Yeah.
Okay.
So good. Also, I cried also at the end when she shows back up at the end.
Yes.
I'm sitting there trying not to be that person bawling her eyes out, and I'm like, I swear I'm okay.
Well, that's why I said it's really sad for the people that didn't stay for the end credits because it really was a beautiful ending to the movie.
I guess the ending is the only thing I really had issue with.
Which part of the ending? Which part?
I really
the killing of the KKK or the beautiful moment where he's reunited with his family,
that they
or
were
Buddy Guy coming back, or being the main person, and
pretty much all of it. It was just weird at the end. It was just weird that the vampires were like, we're soulless demonic vampires from hell, and we want to kill your kids and whatever. And they were like, but we're not racist. I mean, the KKK are the real bad guys. Like, what the hell are you trying to do here, movie? And then at the end, it's like, the movie feels like it ended. They're like, no, we also have to. I'm like, look, you can do KKK or evil vampires. If you do both, feels a little cluttered.
No
and then
way.
the post credit,
No way. I highly
didn't-
disagree because I think there's such
The
a
vampires
great
see no
social-
color, Tony. The vampires
Yes.
see no color.
Except
there
for
is
red.
such a there is such a
However-
great social commentary in this.
I get it. I
It's
get it.
placed
It just-
perfectly in this time.
It felt
and
like
the
a little
whole
much.
reason. Oh, Cody, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh, I can kind of see how, like, if you flip it where it's like the vampires, like, their message or whatever is like, we don't care. We just want you to be one of us.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're us perceiving them as the bad people because that's opposite what the current time is being represented as.
That's the whole point of
yeah.
them saying, listen, look at your world. You are not free because of the world that you are living. They fucking physically say it, Tony. They say that you are not free
I get
in
it.
this
I
world.
get it.
But
It
yet
just
you can
felt
be
like
free
a
with
little
us
much
because we
for
don't
me.
have it. Go fuck yourself, Tony.
And then
Maybe
the
we
post-
should get to something more Tony Speed. Minecraft, I think we have that to talk about.
Thank you,
And
Adam.
look, I knew the one brother was gonna live and what's her face was gonna live because they weren't there at the end. But like the whole thing is like once you're vampire, you're full on vampire mode. You like only want
Yeah.
to use and kill humans. So the whole post credit sequence was like, I made a promise to my brother. I'm like, what? That one guy was ready to kill his daughter and wife, but you guys are like, you know what? I'm gonna let this one slide. I'm like the vampires weren't like that the whole movie until
Well, I think because vampires tend to have more of a like. There's a whole like they can't be invited unless they're, or they can't be in unless they're invited. If they make a promise, I feel like there's more to that.
I
thought
I
it
don't
was
know.
believable.
Well, I
I
thought
like
it was
seeing-
also to speak to Smoke and Stack's like super connection they had. They're twins for one
Yeah.
thing, which already has that kind of
Yeah.
magical mysticism. But you always hear about twins and some of the cool things they can do.
Mm.
But they made this agreement ahead of time, and I think that the vampire, as you know, demonic and as one
the
dimensional
power
as
of
they are.
love overwrote the vampire.
No, but
No.
I think there is, they have rules. And
I
so
guess.
if they made this
Thank
rule
you.
ahead of time, they had an agreement, and he's standing by it.
I just think the
Thank you,
vampirism
Adam.
should override the rule. However, the scares were good. I loved when baby Forrest Whitaker is peeing in the woods. I love the lightning bugs or fireflies as they're
That was
called
so
in some
cool.
places.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for it. I knew what they were doing. I love when like the lights of the vampire's eyes showed up.
That was great.
Yeah. So again, the ending's not bad. I like it. It was a little much for me. The rest
You
of
just
the
didn't
movie,
get it. Yeah, no, you just didn't get it. That's
I
fine.
didn't get it. The rest of the movie
He
is
literally
perfect.
watched it after Minecraft, and he was texting me because I was like, "This movie is honestly it's honestly one of my favorite
Hold on, hold on,
movies."
hold on.
Go
Wait,
ahead,
no,
Tony.
I have it.
Go
I
ahead,
have it.
Tony.
I have it. Hold on.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Nobody
Read the
said I
conversation we
am
had.
Steve
I
in
said-
Sinners.
Here we go. I said, she goes, I'm so jealous that you get to watch that movie for the first time because holy fucking shit. And I went, I doubt a kid will hold a candle to the hit film, a Minecraft movie. And then she says, I will fly up right now and murder you if you say that again. So then I copy and paste it. I doubt it'll hold a candle to the hit film, a Minecraft movie. But no, it is a solid time. I highly recommend everyone
Yeah.
see it. Again, I really, really enjoyed it. Not story issue. There was a technical issue, but I want to know if this was just my experience or not. Randomly throughout scenes, would there be shots that are just really dark? Like the contrast went up really, really high.
Wow, coded racism
No,
from Tony.
no, I
What
mean,
is
like,
it?
listen-
Too
Is
dark,
anyone surprised?
Tony. Wow.
Vampires or KK? KKK
No,
pick
there were
one.
like it happened at random moments.
kind of the same.
No, it was like random moments throughout the
No,
film. Like
you're right, Tony. I said it in my review. I think
Okay.
it is so I didn't get to see this in IMAX or like a fancy new fandangled theater.
I
I have a
saw
pretty
it in
shitty
IMAX.
theater. Okay, so maybe it's just a problem with the. Yeah, I had it too. It was very dim in a lot of scenes. I
Yeah.
actually left the theater 30 minutes in and talked to the people up front and said, I think there's something wrong with your projector because this movie is really like not lit well in scenes. So I don't know.
Really?
Other people
Yeah,
said
there
it
were-
was really crisp and contrast and punchy. So
there
I don't
were
know.
moments where it's the
Wow.
same camera angle during a conversation. They're cutting back and forth. And then one of the times they'll cut to someone, the contrast was really, really dark.
Mhm,
And it would cut back and be fine. I'm like, what is happening here?
I had that
but-
too. I had it too.
Okay, good. Then it wasn't
Yeah.
just me then.
might be
But
just
we
you
are
then.
technical guys, though, Tony. We're tech heads,
We're-
so maybe
we're
we're looking
technical,
at
we're
it at a deeper
technical.
level.
Crystal was too busy crying
Yes,
in the
yeah.
theater.
The
Not
water,
wrong,
the water
yes.
was drowning out the visuals.
But
It was
now
all
I'm
just
sitting there. But now I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, do I look like an asshole now that I got up during the musical performance to go?
Yes.
You're like, I can't take this shit.
Tony stayed for all the white people moments, all the KKK stuff. Tony was there, like waiting on bated breath.
Oh, the vampires singing their song. I was clapping. I'm like, yes.
He was mainly clapping for their first song.
And then
the banjos.
Played the guitar, and I went, nah, and I walked out. And I came back, and they were doing Irish dance, and I went, yes. I was asked to leave.
Don't you hate the Irish because you're Italian? Isn't that how that works?
We do, and yet we're drawn to them. It's a curse. Worse than vampirism. Dating an Irish person, that's hell on earth.
Let the redheads be, baby.
Crystal, funny story to what you said earlier about thinking you were in the wrong theater. I did that late last year. I went to a movie and the entire theater was black people, which never happens, even in South Carolina. I'm the only white dude. I'm like, huh. A lot of people came out for this like random Jason Statham movie. Cool, I guess. I sit down and The Color Purple starts. I went into the wrong theater. It's I'm the one white guy who gets up and just
no! You should have just stayed there. What did you do?
But I had to review the other movies. I'm
no,
like,
Color
I'm
Purple's
sorry.
beautiful.
I'm sorry.
And
I'm not supposed to be here. Jason Statham. I don't know if it was Jason Statham, but it was a different movie. That was really awkward. Really awkward.
you also missed a fantastic movie.
It was even great because I was like in the dead center of the theater too, and I was running late. Like the whole theater's packed.
Wow, what an asshole! Wow, this panel is nothing but racist.
Sorry. Subscribe to Editors Movie. Sorry.
Wait.
I'm not supposed
What
to
if
be
you
here.
had? What if you had missed the opening the opening credits? Would you have just waited for Jason Statham the whole time? Because I've told a story about this. My one gym I used to go to had a theater full of like treadmills, and they would play movies.
Mhm.
And they said that they were playing Tick Tick Boom with Andrew Garfield, but this theater wasn't the best at programming, and they would sometimes play the wrong movie. So I watched the last 40 minutes of In the Heights, and I was like, wow. A lot of brown people in this movie. When did Andrew Garfield show up? I'm like waiting for Andrew Garfield, and then the movie ends and it says In the Heights. I'm like, that wasn't Tick Tick Boom. What the hell is that wrong? But I was waiting the whole movie, and it didn't occur to me until the title came up. I'm like, oh yeah, there weren't a lot of white people in this movie. Why did I expect Andrew Garfield to show up?
Did you not pay attention? What the fuck was even happening in the movie?
Well, I didn't know what the plot of Tick Tick Boom was, other than Andrew Garfield was in it. So I kept waiting for Andrew Garfield to show up in the film.
Two awesome, really.
I can imagine.
shows.
I can imagine Adam getting to the end of the Color Purple remake and being like, "Jason Statham's got to be here any second now."
Well, I didn't know he was in a musical. That's not flex, but all right.
Yeah. I'm sorry. In the Heights is also a phenomenal musical, and also so is Tick Tick Boom's a great show.
Hey, look, the last 40 minutes were solid. I want to check out the rest of the movie at some point.
See the Broadway show; it's so good.
What was it? Was that 3? Let's do our mid-show super chats.